Hello viewers, this is your man MC Goldman. Welcome to AkukoTv, and this is your program For Real. Happy Father's Day. Today is Father's Day. We are celebrating Father's Day. I'm right here in front of African Catholic Community, Bruna Fit Gasse 2224 in the 5th district of Vienna. It's one of the biggest gatherings, one of the biggest gatherings where you can see Africans in their largest number. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here today to interview some of the members of this great Catholic community. As you know, Father's Day comes once in every year, and today we are celebrating Father's Day. I'm right here once again in front of African Catholic Community Vienna, Bruna Fit Gasse 22 to 24 in the 5th district of Vienna. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned as we meet some of the church members to ask them some certain questions about Father's Day. Thank you very much. This is a man, MC Goldman, on the program For Real. Please come with me. Thank you.
For the fathers of our community, we commend on their care and protection. All the fathers of our community on the occasion of the Father's Day, may they continue to listen to the voice of God, and like Joseph, the father of Jesus, continue to provide to their families leadership. Lord, hear us. For confidence that God's goodness overcomes all evil, even from the beginning. After the fall, when sin entered our world, God promised that the devil would be crushed. We ask for confidence in God's power to fulfill all that has been promised. Lord, hear us.
For our fathers in this community, as wives and children, we pray for our husbands who constitute the position of a father in the family and also in the community. Just say a short prayer in silence and ask God to bless all the fathers of this community.
Please.
My name is Maze Emmanuel Obinale Shukujeku.
Yeah, I can see today in African Catholic community in Vienna, Austria, that a lot of people are wearing a very special uniform. What's special about today?
Today is we are celebrating Father's Day in African Catholic community here, and always every year we do it. And today it happens that we are doing it again, and we invited a lot of guests from every part of Europe to come and celebrate with us.
And today being a very special day, do you have any special person or special people you want to wish a happy Father's Day?
I wish every father and fathers to be, I wish every one of us happy Father's Day.
Once again, your name is what?
Mazi Emmanuel Obinale Shukujeku, alias Onyibu na Vienna.
My name's Idiayi Francis, the current Catechist of Africa Catholic Community, Vienna. Yeah, I am a family man with 3 children. I'll be in Vienna for at least an old member in Vienna. I have almost, if I'm not mistaken, a long year, but I don't want to be very specific. Yes, that is it.
Today is Father's Day. Yes. So can you tell us a little something about Father's Day? What makes this day a very special day?
Yeah, you know Father's Day, if you are the type that was in the church today, Father started by asking some people, what do you think about Father's Day? What is the significance of Father's Day? You know, Father's Day is so special in the sense that every grown-up man wants to be a father. Even like me personally, when I was growing up in those days, although my own is a special case, when I was growing up, I was so eager, I was so yearning to know, when am I actually going to be a father? Whereby we see people sitting around me to call me Papa, Daddy. For every responsible man, that is what we are eager or willing to be, because father is a different ball game. When you are a father and when you are a bachelor is different thing. When you are a father, you have a lot of responsibility. The idea of fatherhood connotes with a responsibility. We normally say when you are a father, you are more responsible than when you are a bachelor. Yeah. And today, being the Father Day, is a very special day for all of us, most especially most of us who are fathers. It is a very special day because it signifies that we are responsible.
Sir. May we know you, sir?
I'm Chief Agu.
Chief Agu. You are from Africa, I'm sure. Where in Africa?
From Africa. I am from Zakol.
Yeah.
Zakol in Abia State.
Nigeria. Okay. Today I can see a lot of men, brothers wearing a very special uniform. What is so special about today?
Well, today is a great day for us. We celebrated last time the Mother's Day. Okay. Today is Father's Day. Okay. So these two activities are the highest in our community. So the mothers were honored. Today the fathers are going to be honored also. The fathers contribute so much for the development of this community. So they contributed a lot. I was saying our Gemande is one of the best. This is the highest concentration of blacks in Europe. So there's no way you go again where you have blacks more than we have here. So the blacks portray the African culture. So through us, the Africans are known in this Austria and also in Europe. So when you talk about going to any place, people talk about going to African community. So it is here that God is worshipped highest in Austria. So the African community is respected, the whole of Austria, and they were honored. Last time we had Cardinal Chambon here. So we are respected.
Who is Cardinal Chambon?
Cardinal Chambon is the head of the Catholic Church in Austria. So, and he is a respected man. So he honors us. He comes to here also. He comes here always to honor us also. So we are honored every time in this land.
of African Catholic community, and you can see the widespread of jubilation. It's not normal. It's not every day they do something like this. We are like this today. They are like this today because today is a very special day. Please, let's meet some of our people, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we are still in the Agape Hall of the African Catholic community. The atmosphere is still exciting. People are enjoying. People are celebrating. We are celebrating Father's Day in African Catholic community. Saving Bruna Fit Gasser. You are still on the program for real on AkukoTv. Ladies and gentlemen, please, that will meet. Papa, please, may we know you, sir?
My name is Mr. Felix Onora. I'm the boutique, excellent boutique in Vienna.
Yes, today we see a lot of people on different uniform. What's so special about today, sir?
Today is special. So special because we are marking our Father's Day celebration. And as a matter of fact, this celebration always held every year on this date, this very date. So we are happy to celebrate fatherhood today in African Catholic Community Church. I think it's something that gives us joy. Because last May, mothers, they celebrated their own, and as well, they say all things being equal, fathers celebrate their own today. So we are very, very happy to celebrate our own today.
We are inside the Agape Hall of African Catholic Community, and right here with me is the Social Secretary of African Catholic Community. For the sake of those who don't know you, sir, may we know you, please?
My name is Victor Saro. I'm the Social Secretary of the African Catholic Community, and today we are celebrating the Father's Day. And I'm very happy. We have a lot of guests. The members are dressed in their uniform.
What about this uniform? Is it normal that they wear uniform on Father's Day?
Yeah, it's normal. It's just so that we show to the public. We don't hide our identity. We show the public we are fathers. We are proud to be fathers. And it's what is normal is to identify yourself with something, with a group in the church anyway. So it's very normal.
Today is a very special day. Do you have any special wish to any special person, to anybody through this medium? Because this thing will go viral on social media. The whole world will see it. Who are you wishing a very special Father's Day today or something?
As a matter of fact, we need not to have a special person. We are all fathers. We should wish ourselves a happy Father's Day. So I'm wishing all fathers in this community, outside this community, a happy Father's Day.
My name is Sylvia. I'm 8 years old. I want to recite 4 Bible quotations, which is taken from Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in the green pasture. He leadeth me beside the still water. He restored my soul. He leadeth me in the right of righteousness for his name's sake. Though I walk through the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for the Lord is with me. Their rod and their staff, they comfort me. They prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. They anoint my head, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow us all the days of our life, and we shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen.
What's special about today?
Today is the Father's Day as we know it in the Western world. The other part of the world, it has been celebrated. We are in our uniform today because we are the African, we are the Catholic men organization. You see it, you make it. It is always good that wherever you belong, you try to identify yourself there. So the people in this uniform are those that have sacrificed their time, their energy, and their money to belong to this small group, which is the pillar of the church, pillar of African Catholic Church, pillar of Catholic Church everywhere.
Yes, still on the same matter. I'm right here with another person, a very good brother, and a full member of African Catholic community in Vienna. Sir, may we know you, sir?
My name is Engineer Mike Ume. I'm from Ames in Agota in Biafra land. I was a former secretary, CMO, African Catholic community here in Vienna.
Yeah, thank you. You're welcome, sir. Today is a very special day, as I can see, because I see a lot of people, including myself, wearing a very special uniform. So what's so special about today?
Today is we are celebrating. We carry over to the next Sunday. Today is the feast of. We are celebrating the Father's Day, and in this community, you can see what we are wearing. Saint Joseph the Worker, which is the patron saint of the fathers. So that's why we are celebrating today. We want to celebrate the fatherhood with our family and our community.
African Christian Community ACC nke dị n'obodo Austria adụkọla mamịrị ọnụ ka ọ wee gwa ụmụaka Afrịka anyị na-eto eto ofufe. Ehihie ọma unu ndị ọma na-ege anyị ntị, onye bi ibe ya bụ ọga akụkọ bụ Maazị Chukwu ọzọ n'ezinụlọ ntị n'olu ndị na onye isi nchụaja masị bụ Reverend Father John Jenga ewepụtara ntụmatụ ije gbochi ụmụntakịrị anyị itinye isi na ajọ omume, ọkachasị ịpụ n'uche niile na omume egwu ike, enwere ntị, ekwentị, PlayStation na ịkpa aka anyị na onyonyo ịntanetị. Ha gara n'ihu ịdọ ụmụaka obodo ka ha nwee nchekwube na nnukwu uche na Chineke. Ha rịọkwara ndị nne na nna ka ha jisi ike ilekọta ụmụntakịrị. Ọ bụkwanụ nke ọha ike abụkwanụ ụlọ anyị. Aka mbụfọ onye nta akụkọ Chukwu ọzọ ike ka ọ dị na Hello, you're watching the ACC News, the Christian Men's Organization of Vienna, Austria, have really taken the moon by its horn to see that our children are rated first before others. Good afternoon, I'm Amarachi Mbako. These are the headlines. The fathers and the chaplain Reverend Father John Jenga have reached a conclusion to initiate strong disciplinary culture in the community. They have succeeded with the help of the parents to stop our children from the acute sickness of the use of mobile telephones, PlayStations, misuse of internet, and so on. Further, they also nurture them to build their faith in God. During the last inter-Christian worldwide competition, the growing children of African competition, the Christian community, Austria has been rated the best. They therefore are pleading with the parents to continue with their good jobs.
They promise that the church will also relax the continuous consolation of their children. A stitch in time saves none. Till tomorrow afternoon, I am still Amarachi in my day.
Guten Tag, mein Name ist Ade Wasikiri. Das sind meine Schlagzeilen. Unsere Väter und Vassalgemeindepriester John Jenner haben es geschafft, dass die Kinder während des Gottesdienstes nicht mehr mit dem Handy oder anderen Arten von Spielern zu spielen. Außerdem haben sie auch die Kinder bestürzt, ihren Glauben an Gott aufzubauen. Während des letzten überchristlichen Weltwettbewerbs wurden die Kinder der afrikanischen katholischen Psalmgemeinde als die Bestes gewertet. Sie warten auf die Eltern, ihre gute Leistungen weiterzumachen. Du zeigst etwas von Gott auf Erden. Ja, so wie du will ich mal werden. Mit denen zu reden und Scherzen hinterlässt mir wärmen Herzen. Du zeigst mir, wie ich leben soll und machst das Leben reich und voll. Für alles sage ich danke vielmals. Papa, lebe hoch und lebe lang. Somit beende ich meine Nachrichten und sage vielen Dank für eure Aufmerksamkeit. Ich wünsche euch allen einen schönen Feiertag. Danke.
So thank
you very much. This comes to the end of this wonderful year.
Agape Hall of African Catholic Community. As you can see, it has been a widespread of jubilation. People are drinking, people are enjoying. How are you enjoying, sir? Are you okay?
Well, you know, we are having fun.
Good, thank you very much. You can see widespread of jubilation and excitement. Today is a very special day. It's Father's Day. And
Hello viewers, this is your girl Clara. You're still on the program on AkukoTv. And today is a special day, Father's Day. Still on the mall, you cannot see. And here we have Mr.
My name's Chief Madkana, one of Abo One.
And today is Father's Day. Can you tell us what's special about today?
Today is a very great day for the fathers from 18 years above, because we are doing this once in a year, where we come together to communion each other, to eat together each other and drink together, to show love to fathers. And our wives also show love to us also by assisting us by cooking food, and our children by giving us gifts as a day like this.
I have a question for you, sir. Can you tell us what is the advantage and disadvantage of raising children here in Austria, Vienna, and in Nigeria?
Yeah, the advantage here I can say is that that the fathers are here with their children. They can see when they are messing up and when they are not messing up. Although the fathers can also try their best here. Some children also, you cannot hold them. If they want to, go astray, you just do only your best. But I feel the advantage also I can say about raising the children in Nigeria is that we have culture. We have a tradition also that ties the children down. That makes the children to know that you don't need to do bad thing. Because when you do bad thing, automatically, maybe you are not going to eat food that day, or you must get a penalty for that. But here, in such a way that even if you want to control the children, the government can also take care of the children, because the children depends also on government, not even the parents.
So what is the advantage and disadvantage of raising a child here in Austria, in Europe, and raising children in Africa?
Well, to my own personal opinion, I think wherever you raise a child, the environment matters. When we talk Europe in parentheses, yeah, what we are trying to say is European standard. And there is nothing like European standard, because here in Europe they still have different classes of people. Okay. Now, when you are talking about Africa, with what is happening in Africa today, I mean, African leaders are not helping the issue.
In what sense?
In the political aspect of the life.
And what of the social aspect?
The social aspect also, because when the politics is not all that faced well, it affects every other segment of the society. So what I'm trying to say is that here the children they have their right. When they want to go somewhere and you find it fit and bit for them to go this place, you have to encourage them. In Africa, they might want to go, but the society is not helping. I mean, the government is not helping things easily. Now, another aspect of it is, you see, in like Europe here, government is supporting. Here in Austria, government is supporting a lot of children from the day of their birth till when they are 18 years. Especially when you want to further your education, they can give you grant so that you can go where you want to go.
Of course, I will not totally say it is not here in Europe somehow, but it's not on the high side. You know, the Bible actually makes it clear to us that train a child the way it should grow. When it grows, it will not depart from it. That one are boiled down to parents. Parents have to do extra work. You know, Europe is like a free world.
And you think they are doing such work?
Of course, they are not doing such work, to be very sincere with you. Most of them are not doing such work. They thought here is a free world, everybody have the freedom.
Or they are not doing enough?
They are doing, but they are not doing enough. Okay. Yeah, but compared to when we are growing up, our father is, we see our father as everything. We see him as the God, we see him as the president, we see him as the everything. When they talk, sometimes they don't talk with mouth, they give us some signal, some movement, and some eye signal, and then we comply to them, we listen to them, we know exactly what they are talking about. But come to think about it here in Europe, too many freedom. Children do whatever they want to do. You see children at the age of 16, 17 years, they started smoking, going to discoing and all that. But in our old days, back home in Africa, it's never like that. I can still remember when I was 25 years, I was still sleeping with back of my mother in the house. That's to tell you how disciplined they are as at that time. But compared to most parents are trying to do their best. But I want to boil it down to parents. Some parents are not doing enough. Some parents want to be free, but there are some parents here. I'm not trying to be one-sided person. There are some parents here in Australia who are very strict, like our parents in Africa. It depends the way individual parents are. There are some parents here in Africa, in Australia, which are very, very strict, just like in Africa. But there are some parents that, oh yeah, we're in Europe, we have the freedom and do whatever we want to do. That is why we always say, bring a child the way it should be, because when he grows, he will not depart from it. Any parent who cannot control the child when it is between 0 to 15 years, and at the age of 19, 20, you start shouting, oh, my child have gone so wide. And that. No, that depends on you. Start treating the child when he's small, at the age of 8 or 7, 8 years, 9 years, until when he get to that age of 18, when he will eventually have a freedom, then he will know, yes, my father taught me this, my mother taught me this, and then we see that quotation from the Bible now come to realize.
I'm talking about this, in Africa, when children are parents, they are more responsible. Like when my father was alive, I was taking care of him. The children born here don't take care of their fathers. You know, like when you have a child here, we try to, the Africans respect and train children in African way so that they are useful. It's only having children, having children, but the children should be responsible children that can take care of you when you are old. In Africa, there's no pension. The children are affection in Africa. The children born here don't take care of. No, I don't think so. I don't think they do what, I mean, they behave the way the children.
Are you saying that the advantage is more or the advantage more? Which one is more?
No, I'm saying that when you bring up children in Africa, I respect it more than in Europe here, because the European culture makes the children, you see a child who is 14 years smoking. The African child does not start smoking.
Okay, if they bring a vote now, to vote that all of us should go back to Africa and train our children, and all of us should stay here and train our children, which one will you vote?
No, I respect the Africans.
No, not respect. If they bring a vote for us to stay and train our children, and vote for us to take our children home and train, which one will you vote?
Well, the children normally will like here, because they are more lenient. You know, they're not strict. You know, to bring up like a child eats and throws away the plate. He doesn't wash it. But a child in Africa washes the plate. you know, they are more trained to be useful. You know, it's not only having children, but training them to be. I mean, we impart in African children our values. These values are.
There's a question we have been asking: what is the advantage and disadvantages of training up a child in Europe and training up a child in Africa? I'm sure you grew up in Africa.
Yes, I grew up in Africa.
What do you think?
My experience, I would say, it's not a bad experience as well, because I was brought up in that African kind of way, which is also not so bad compared to the way kids have been brought up here. Kids here have a lot of rights, which also make them misbehave. But in Africa, they don't have that opportunities.
I think that right they have here, the father doesn't have any say on that right on the children.
Actually, depending on how you handle your kids. Some parents will be at home speaking German with their children. I mean, you are not bringing up that child in an African way. If you are at home, you should be able to talk English, or you talk your language with your child. The Dutch, the child will learn, of course, in the school.
I agree with you.
So, if you are bringing up your child, smacking a child does not mean you are bringing up that child in a very good way. We have to talk to kids regularly. I have a child of 16 years. At times, he is my best friend. He is my son. Yes, I take him out. We go for strolling. We'll take a walk around. I tell you the importance of being a child and the importance of me being his father. And I tell him what he should know. And I give him the disadvantage. At times I take him to Gupendorfer Strasse. I parked my car and I will show him. You see these people?
Where is Gupendorfer? What's happening? What's so special about Gupendorfer?
Homeless people.
Okay.
I will tell him, you see these people, if they are listening to their parents, they won't be homeless. If they've been going to school, reading their books, they will be homeless. At times I do tell him, my father is not here now to help me take care of few kids. I have to do it for myself. And this is how you, my son, is going to grow up also to get married and have your own kids. So it is good you talk to them, not always smacking a child that shows you are taking care of that child.
You know, the problem is this. One have to understand that Europe is another continent and Africa is also a different continent. So the problem most of us have here is identity problem. And this identity problem is what causes a lot of problem. There is a lot of clash between the interests. The only thing is that in Africa, we have our own way of life and our own system. And in Europe, they have their own system. But the most important thing one have to understand is that when you find yourself in Europe, just like the priest said today, when you find yourself in Europe, you take the good part of the Europe and take the good part of Africa and combine together, and you get the best.
I don't understand what you mean by they have their own system and we have our own system, because according to the Bible, they say train up a child in a way the child should grow, and when he grows, not depart from it. And Austria is like a Catholic country. So I don't understand what you mean, Peter.
Many people misunderstand the whole system. Austria being a Catholic country or not being a Catholic country, spiel. What I'm trying to tell people is this: when you come to Austria have its own system, and I tell you, they call themselves first world. You know, it's a Western world. They have undergone a lot of.
You think they are not?
No. That's how they put it, and we have to accept it until we put our own system, our house in order in Africa. Then we can be able to say, okay, their system is not in order, our system is there, you know. So we have to tell ourselves the truth. What I'm trying to tell you is this: here they have undergone a lot of things. Just like today, if I tell my son, it is not like this, my son will say, no, it is like this. This is the reason. In Africa, most of the times we don't allow parents, we don't allow the children to say their mind. We feel that when you are an adult, you know all, and it's a problem we have. So sometimes you are listening to them, but the only thing is that don't allow the embarrassment to pass. There must be a check and balances. Here, as we are here today, our children will go to school. The teacher will ask them, we love the ganze vokenen de sa ja we find the kike under. The teacher will say und. The teacher will kneel down, will be in the same height with the child. The child will open up and tell him everything.
In one sentence, I want to ask you, sir. I want to ask you an objective question, very, very objective question. if you are asked to vote, train up a child in Austria and train up a child in Africa to vote, which one will you vote for? Just in one sentence.
This kind of question, you don't need a direct answer. You allow me to explain, because just like I said before, you choose the good part of Africa and choose the good part of in Europe here. There's a bad part of it. So you get
some good side also.
Yeah, and there's good side also. So, but as a human being, that's I can reason. I can say, okay, this one is good, this one is not good. So you should allow me to say, okay, this area I will choose it, and this area I will leave it. So Africa has their own advantage and own disadvantage, and here they have own advantage and own disadvantage, because you can't tell me that a child will decide on his own forever and ever. No, it doesn't work. I have to help the child.
You're saying that everything also depends totally on parents.
Totally on parents. And again, what I'm asking is that the teachers in the school should also help us. Because my child will not come to you and say, you ask him, wie läuft der Wochenende? Ja, wir waren in der Kirche und ich sage, ja, später wir wollen nach Hause, und my father doesn't allow us to go home because he want to talk with the children, other friends, and say, when we go home, he was angry, and they say, my father had me schlagen. What is schlagen? He said, no. Schlagen. And the moment he says schlagen, you don't know whether beating or say, no, come inside the house. He says schlagen. Before you know it, they start writing letter from Dugan down to this is causing problem here and there. So this is what I'm trying to make the system here understand. Also hear from the parents, not when a child tell you, my father had me schlagen, what is start causing problem in the family. And this tension of writing letter and all these things make the family, give family a lot of tension. We Africans, we are migrants here. We have our own problem. We have the problem from home, we have problem here. And this problem, when you join it together, sometimes you make somebody crazy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mike, Engineer Mike, who is the coordinator of IPOB. The IPOB means, for those who don't know, Indigenous People of Biafra. Thank you very much. One last question, sir. Today is a very special day. Do you have any special wish to any special person in Austria, in Nigeria, or any part of the world?
No, my wish is that that God will meet each and every one of us in our various point of our need. It shall be well with all of us, and we shall live to enjoy the hard fruit of our labor. Our children, we see them, they progress at the end. All of us, we enjoy our hard fruit of labor. That's what I wish in every man and everybody in this community.
Thank you very much. That is Engineer Mike Ume, the coordinator IPOB, Indigenous People of Biafra in Austria. Thank you very much for granting.
My name is Matilda Kroma, Mishu Salisu.
You are from Nigeria, sir?
No, I'm from Liberia. I would like to admonish and appeal to most men in our African Catholic community that they should live an exemplary lives, like a life of that of a true father, not only to their children, but to all children in the African Catholic community as well. To be an example as to how they live their lives in Vienna, because we know our fathers from back home, they are the head of the family. And wherever they go, whenever they are out there, they represent the families. They are ambassadors. So that I will expect of the men in the African Catholic community in Austria, to be an example for the younger ones to follow as well.
Can I ask you a question? I've been answering the men this question. I will let you answer this question also. I know we have celebrated Mother's Day that have come and passed, but I still want to ask you. You have a child or children in Austria?
Yes, I do.
Yes, and I know you grew up in Africa.
Yes, I do.
What are the differences? What do you think is the advantage and disadvantage of?
The advantages are like the children in Austria or in Europe or abroad, they have so many things to their disposal. Unlike our children back home or where we grew up, we didn't have all these opportunities that our children...
Like what opportunities?
Technology, the advantages of saying whatever they want to say, because here the system allows them to speak to have their freedom. But in Africa, you would think twice before you respond to your parents, your father especially. Before you talk to him, you have to think twice. But like here, the child can tell you, Daddy, I don't like this, or Mommy, I can't do this. But in Africa, you dare not do that to your parents. No. So I would rather take a little bit of what I had from back home in my upbringing and combine it with what we have in Europe in bringing up our children or raising our children, combine the both and help to deal with it in raising up our children.
Thank you very much. Once again, your name is what?
Matilda Kroma, Mr. Salisu.
Thank you very much. One last question. Today is Father's Day. I know you are a lady, but and I know you are married, of course. Yes, good. What are you wishing the men, your husband, or is there any special person you have in mind to wish a happy Father's Day or something?
Of course, my husband.
Apart from your husband, I know your husband is automatically.
I would like to wish all the men all over the world, especially the good fathers, those that really take care of their homes, that own up to their responsibilities, those that also help their wives in raising, because life in Europe or abroad is not funny. A lady or single parenting doesn't really work. But to the fathers' support that they gave to we the mothers or the women, I really applaud them for doing that, because it's 50-50. And I'm really, really asking and appealing to most men to be patient with their wives, to be patient in their homes, to assist more and just show her a little bit of love and helping her out.
So you're wishing all the men, apart from your husband, happy Father's Day.
Yes, I
myself.
Yes, I did.
Thank you very much. And I thank you very much. Yeah, still on the same matter. This is your man MC Golden Mouth of Austria. Right here with me is the chief chaplain of African Catholic communities in Benefit Garcia 24 in the 5th district of Vienna, Reverend Father John Njenga. Father, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Yes, today is Father's Day, as we know. Can you please tell us a little bit something about Father's Day?
Father's Day is actually the day when we celebrate our fatherhood, and it's a day that men within the church celebrate the day when they remember their own responsibility and how they take care of their own families, and also they take a leadership role within the church.
Father, thank you very much. We have interviewed the chairman of CMO, and we have interviewed the social secretary of African Catholic Community, and we have interviewed the social secretary of CMO also. And from our interview, we learned that there are some people on this special uniform. They are members of CMO, and as a matter of fact, we are not celebrating CMO. We are celebrating Father's Day. So what is the difference, Father?
The difference between Father's Day and Catholic Men Organization Day is that Father's Day is general for all men. Anybody who is a man and he enjoys carrying out the responsibility, because Father's Day we celebrate that opportunity that God has given us to be in charge and to be responsible and to exercise love. So Father's Day, it is only related with CMO in the sense that CMO is an umbrella body that coordinates and organizes the celebration of Father's Day. So the difference is that one is an organization, we call it a lay movement within the church of all the men who are married in the church, and they have taken a special role in the church. But when it comes to Father's Day, it's all men who are carrying out responsibility either in their families, in the church, and in the society, and they have got children and they are taking care of them. But that notwithstanding, Father's Day is not limited only to people who have got children, but it also extends to people who are who have some responsibility. For example, I am called Father John. What is the meaning of Father John? I do not have children or a child, but at least I have responsibility that has lifted me up to that level of being a father. So together with the men in the community, we celebrate Father's Day. So the difference is that one is a lay organization in the church. We call it a lay movement in the church. the Catholic Men Organization. The other one is the Father's Day for all the fathers.
What do you think? What are the advantages and disadvantages of training up a child in Austria, in Europe, and the advantages and disadvantages of training up a child in Africa? From your own experience as a priest, what do you think?
From the professional point of view, I would say that there's a big difference in bringing up children in Africa in comparison to bringing up children here in Europe, and particularly here in Austria. For one, in Austria, the children are the property of the state. And while you can claim this is my child, you have always to be careful the way you handle that child. Otherwise, if you play around with the child, you try to discipline the child, then the child is likely to be taken by the state from you. Therefore, the children here in Austria, they are properties of the state, and you have to take good care of them, bearing in mind that by saying that you want to discipline them, they are likely to be taken by the state. But in Africa, it is very simple, because the child belongs to the community. The child belongs to the family, and the family, my brothers and my sisters and my neighbors, when they see my child misbehaving, for example, they will take the role of correcting that particular child. So it becomes very easy to bring up a child in Africa, because the child belongs to the family, to the community, to the extended family, and generally to the society. But here the child belongs to the family, in the sense that if my child is misbehaving, I may not even be able to correct that child, or if I try to correct the child, then the child may be taken away from me. So in Europe, it's very difficult to bring up the child as compared to bringing up the children in Africa.
Father, I want to ask you one last question. Before I ask this question, let me ask, first last question, I want to ask you a question. CMO and the men of African Catholic community, must you be married? Because this question has thrown a lot of people off balance. They don't understand it. I want them to use this medium to understand very well what is CMO. Is it a must that you must be married to be a member of CMO? Must he be wedded in the church to be a member of CMO? I never asked a lot of people this question. I want to answer specifically because I know you are a priest. What is qualification to be a member of CMO, sir?
Yeah, so, well, what I would want to say, I'm going to be a little bit practical, in the sense that I will say in Africa and here is completely different. When we talk of CMO in Africa, it's completely different, because in Africa they stress so much that you must be married, you are supposed to be wedded in the church, and it's like a condition, in the sense that they do this in order to encourage many men to get married in the Catholic Church. But when we come to Europe, well, we can talk about the same condition, but we remember that the church in Europe, especially the African Catholic community here, is the church which is on the move, and most of the people here, they were formerly, well, it took them a lot of time to settle here in Europe. So it has taken them time, and therefore the conditions that are put in Africa may not be applicable here. So we try to be lenient here, because we would want as many people as possible to join the Catholic Men Organization. But in Africa already the number is already so big that we do not care. We put the rule to be able to help many men to marry, but here we try to be lenient so that we encourage as many members as possible to join. But that notwithstanding, many people from Africa who have come here, and they know some of these conditions, even when you talk to them and encourage them to join, sometimes they say, but I'm not married. So they put that as a stumbling block for themselves. But gradually, we also encourage them to marry so that they also become members. But if somebody comes and wants to join, sometimes we make the law to be a little bit light. We can accept somebody, and when somebody becomes a member of CMO, then we encourage the person slowly, and we try to push the person slowly to be able to become a member and later on to marry in the church.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your man, MC Golden Mat of Austria, right here inside the Agape Hall of African Catholic Community in Vienna. As a matter of fact, it's one of the biggest African gathering you can get in the whole of Europe. I'm talking with the chief chaplain of the community, Father John Njenga. Father John Njenga, of course, is from Kenya. My last question, Father. Today is a very special day. Do you have any special wish for anybody in Kenya, in anywhere in Africa, or any part of the world, to wish a Father's Day or something?
for me, what I would want to close my closing remarks in this talk or in this interview, my wishes is that I want to wish all the members of the CMO, the Catholic Men Organization in African Catholic Community, which is the biggest community in the whole of Europe. I want to wish them Happy Father's Day, to wish them God's blessing, to wish them commitment in their undertakings, to wish them strong faith and growth in faith, and also to wish them happiness and joy and fulfillment as we celebrate the Father's Day. But more importantly, I want to ask them to become more committed, to become more strong in faith and more strong in their Christian calling.
Thank you very much, Reverend Father John Njenga from Kenya, the Chief Chaplain of African Catholic Community in Vienna. And that is how it has been on the program For Real on AkukoTv. On this very special day, Father's Day celebration here in Vienna, Siebenbrunner Gasse 24 in the 5th district of Vienna, African Catholic Community. This is your man, MC Golden Mouth of Austria, and with me is my sister
Clara.
Thank you very much for being part of this program. See us next year, the same time, the same station, and on the same program. On the program, I want to say thank you very much for watching, and I say bye bye.
And keep watching AkukoTv.
Bye bye.